Hey guys, zoidbergenstein here with a series of videos chronicling NUC's journey from brand new World of Tanks team all the way to as far through the WGLNA as we can make it. In today's match, we're again going to be looking at Week 3 of the WGLNA Preseason on NUC. We'll be watching Lost play today, as during Week 3 we were in Boston for PAX playing on their tournament machines, so we don't have those demos for the people that were there. We're going to be running the same comp that you saw in yesterday's video, running two 5100s, two IS-3s, and a 1390. We're going up against two 5100s and three IS-3s, so they do have that brawl potential, but we have a little bit more speed. We can shift around and try and hit them from different angles. In yesterday's match, I mentioned that because we had played a potential disaster before, we had a feeling that they might try and aggressively push us again, so we set up in a defensive position. Now, Lincoln Brigade is not a team that we've played before, but we do know that they have a lot of competitive experience in World of Tanks. We're still going to set up in that defensive position, however, because you can catch a lot of teams off guard with a very aggressive push, especially considering they have three IS-3s compared to our autoloaders. If they were to push very, very aggressively into us, they might catch us off guard. So we'll set up in this defensive position where, like yesterday, we have a great crossfire and we can shut them down if they push. Now, if they don't push, we have to make sure that our crossfire is set up in a position so that we can transition from our defensive set into a more aggressive offensive set and push around the 5-minute mark. Our crossfire is set up fairly far back, so when we do pick up those spots in those IS-3s that are making a semi-aggressive push, they know that if they go farther than that, they're going to enter what would be an amazing crossfire for us, and they're not going to cross that line. Now that puts us in a bit of a standoff position. We don't want to push into them just yet, and they don't want to push into us just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to posture for position. I bring my tank out of my forward position because I don't want to get caught by myself, and we enter what's going to be a very, very defensive crossfire. We want them to push into us, and we feel that eventually they will push into us because they've already crossed the halfway point on the map. Even knowing that, it is still very early in the match, so we're probably not going to see that push for some time. We've only been going for about 90 seconds now, and oftentimes you won't see any kind of aggressive push until that 5-minute mark. That means that we are just going to do what we call posturing. We're going to try and get in positions where if they peek for something, we can get a shot on them, get that early HP advantage. They're going to be doing the same thing to us. So right now, it's very important that we don't give up our HP advantage. If they get a shot into us, we have to get a shot back into them. Now, best case scenario, what we're really trying to do here is get a shot into them without them getting a shot back into us. Now, the way I phrase that may sound kind of easy. Play defensively. If you see someone, shoot them, don't get shot yourself. It's actually very difficult against skilled teams because they're trying to do the same thing to you. There are so many angles where you can be shot from in World of Tanks, and you're not dealing with just an avatar of a person which can hide behind a corner very, very easily. You're dealing with the full tank, so you've got your back which can be exposed, your turret which can be exposed, your front which is going to have to peek out of the corner before your turret does. So you can be shot very, very easily. And a lot of these teams that have been playing for a very long time, they understand the angles a lot better than we do. So one of the things that you'll see in a lot of our matches is when we can successfully trade early, we do very well. But sometimes we struggle with that. We'll move into a position where we think we're safe, and then another team has a great overwatch position, and they're able to get 2, 3, sometimes even 4 shots into our tank. And then before anything really happens, we're already down to a 1-shot tank versus 5 full HP tanks. The key for a team to get past that is experience. And we're never going to have the experience that a lot of these teams have that have been playing for 2 to 3 years, so we try and artificially give ourselves more experience. And the way we do that is whenever we have a tank in this B1 position, it's probably going to be Lost. That gives him more experience in us playing it. He understands the angles better. He understands where he can get shots, where he can get shot from. When we're looking at that C2, C3 courtyard, that's probably going to be me playing there because it's a position that I can learn. I can understand those angles. And you can see Lost has a feel for that. He really thinks that there's going to be a tank popping out there, so he lines it up, he gets that shot. Unfortunately, he gets shot as well from an IS-3 to a 5100. That's not a trade that we're going to be looking for, but the important thing there is he did take a shot and he did return a shot, so it's not a complete lost cause. Because Lost knows that that IS-3 is going to be watching for that spot again, he's not going to return there. He is going to peek a couple different angles, see if he can get a spot back quickly like he just did there, and see if he got spotted. For those of you guys who have just started playing, there's a crew skill called Sixth Sense that will allow you to see if you've been spotted after 2 seconds. One of the things that we like to do, and almost every competitive team or every pub player who has it is going to do, is they're going to peek, they're going to back, they're going to see if they got spotted, and if they didn't get spotted, they can move back into that position and look again and try and get a spot on another tank. If that light comes up and you do see that you're spotted, you realize that you can't peek that because someone's probably going to be watching for you. Turning our eyes to the east side of the field, we see that Vash has just defeated another T1, giving him a clear route to the flag. And that is a huge advantage on this map. One thing to keep in mind, IS-3s are very slow compared to the tanks that are out on the field. While they may be fast for brawlers, compared to a 5100 or a 1390, they really don't have the speed to do anything. If we can get Vash to apply some cap pressure, especially after those IS-3s have pushed past the 50% mark on the field, they don't have many options. They can either do a hard push into us, try and burn us down, maybe get 3 on cap, maybe then send someone back if they have time. They could send one tank back to get Vash and hope that we don't push into them 4v5, or they could send their whole team back for Vash and hope that we don't shoot him in the back. The only real good option they have is their T1 who may be back there on the flag. As you're going to see, he is back there, can defeat Vash in another 1v1. Now, when you have tier 1s that can do that, it makes such a huge difference. We're able to leave Lipid in his proc spot location so that those tanks literally cannot push us without being spotted, and we can keep all of our tier 8s in a very safe location. Vash gets on cap, and they have to make a decision here. They do decide to aggressively push into us, which really plays into our favor. We've got this fantastic crossfire setup, so Lost and I are able to burn those IS-3s down. Our IS-3s and 1390 on the other side are able to engage the 5100s, and you're going to see us come out of this fight with very little damage to ourselves and major damage put out on Lincoln Brigade. We're at a 5 tier 8 to 2 tier 8 tank advantage, and we've got Vash on cap. That means that they have 1 minute to ammo rack or somehow destroy all 5 of our tier 8 tanks and get back to Vash. That's probably not going to be possible, so we've got this match locked up at this point. Now let's take a look at what really gave us the advantage here, and I have to chalk it up to tier 1 play. Tier 1s are the unsung heroes of World of Tanks. They do so much for a team, and oftentimes don't get the respect they deserve because they are on those small tanks that don't get lots of damage out. But when you have a tier 1 tank that can win 2 1v1s, get on cap, and give us a win like this, it makes such a huge difference, even compared to some great tier 8 play. As Lost closes in for the final kill on this IS-3, that's going to do it for this match. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you do like these videos, like and subscribe on YouTube. Feel free to leave any comments down there in the comment section. I always try and get back to them. You can also follow me on Twitter, and stay tuned for some big announcements regarding World of Tanks. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next match breakdown video.